Okay, YouTubers, I've got 3 hickory bows here. This bow here is one I just started on, which is I just started carving the handle in here. This bow is 52 inches long, which is basically a horse bow. You see, this stave is pretty straight, real, real nice straight hickory stave. It's very thick. It's probably 2 inches thick through there. I've still got to take the back off the bow, or the belly off the bow, because there's plenty of wood on the belly there. Anyway, that one's in the making. These 2 bows here are just about done. This one here, I've still got to tiller just a little bit. I got to take probably another 1/8 of an inch off, because this bow here is still way above. I'm going to say probably 80 or 90 pounds. Man, this thing's super, super heavy. I mean, it's still on the tillering stick. You still can't pull it back to 26 inches. But anyway, that's deer antler tipped, sinew backed, and rawhide backed and painted. And this one here is just a rawhide backed bow, and this has got hailstones. This is the war paint that Crazy Horse wore at Custer's last battle. Was he wore hailstones on his body and a lightning bolt on from his forehead to his cheek. Had a red lightning bolt that Crazy Horse wore. So I've got hailstones and a lightning bolt on here, just some authentic war paint. So this right here, I'm going to call this a war bow because it's got war paint on it. So the other one is just a generic Indian bow that I painted myself, my own design on there. So it's and I've got my Osage bow, of course, my and this Osage bow is sinew backed. This is what I gauge all my other bows at. And somebody asked the other day about how thick to make the limbs on these. The limb on the Osage now, because Osage is such a strong wood. There, I'm going to show. Let's get the tape measure out here. Oh, here it is. So you see how wide it is. It's just about an inch and a quarter wide. Yeah, 1 and a quarter wide this way, and the limbs this way. Let's see here. Remember, this is Osage, and the limbs are probably 1/4 of an inch thick, and this bow here is about 63 pounds at 28 inches. 63 pounds. And this is what I gauge my other bows at, because I know how strong, I know exactly how strong this one is. I finally got on a scale. Made my own string out of artificial sinew and string sorting. And this bow here, sinew-backed Osage, will never break, and it'll kill anything on the planet. I mean, it'll literally kill anything that walks. It's super strong. Let me back up. It's got a little bitty pin knot on this end here, a little bump right there. You can see it's a little pin knot right there. But this bow here, I know that one's good and strong. 63 pounds. And they're a 1/4 of an inch thick on both sides. So if you guys are asking how to gauge bows, if you're using hickory, hickory is not as doesn't have the elasticity and the doesn't it's not a, it's a more springy. The Osage orange is more springy than the hickory is. So I'd say that the hickory's got to be probably an eighth of an inch thicker for the same poundage. An eighth to a 16th of an inch thicker for the same poundage for an inch and a half wide. And if you're going to go 2 inches wide, then I'd stay closer to the quarter of an inch to 3/8. You know, in that range, I'd say is going to be, you know, right in this, right on 60, 55, 60 pound range. At between a quarter and 3/8 of an inch thick is going to be for a hickory bow. So on a 2 inch wide limb, you want 3/8 to a, you know, between a quarter and 3/8 of an inch thick. And that's in the middle of the limb, not back here at the base of the limb. At the base of the limb, you know, it's going to taper and get, you know, get wider, of course. So in this part of the limb, you want to do that. When you back them with sinew and rawhide, that makes them more like Osage, like unbacked Osage. So I'm going to say this bow here, you could probably, if you did this bow here, probably the same thickness as the Osage bow, probably a quarter of an inch thick because it's backed, because it's sinew backed and rawhide backed. So yeah. Anyway, if you're making your own bows, man, all I can tell you is just practice. If you make one and it's not what you wanted, I like to start out with my limbs real thick and you know, get it to where it looks halfway right. You know, start out kind of thick, put it on a tillering stick, and bend the limbs and get them to bend evenly, even at a heavy weight, and then you can take them down gradually, both evenly at the same time, you know, so that you get the same thickness on both limbs and they bend right, you know, all the way down to, from, if you say, if your bow starts out the first time you put it on the tillering stick, it's 70 or 80 pounds, then you can still take off, you know, probably another eighth of an inch of wood, 16th to an eighth of an inch of wood with a rasp, you know, with the wood rasp. And just take it down gradually till you get where you want it, you know. It takes time and some patience, and just be careful and don't take too much off, because you're going to end up with a weaker pound of, you know, a weaker bow than what you wanted. Okay, guys, thanks for watching.